I always stop for chai on those endless nights hauling freight from Delhi to Kolkata. But this time, the roadside barber's smile felt just a tad too welcoming in the fog-shrouded dark. It was around 2 a.m., the kind of hour where the Grand Trunk Road turns into a ghost of itself. Miles of cracked asphalt, flanked by shadowy fields, the occasional flicker of a distant village light piercing the haze like a wary eye. I'm Raj, a trucker for the last 15 years, the sort who lives on diesel fumes and regrets. My rig, an old Ashok Leyland loaded with textiles, rumbled along the desolate stretch near Sasaram, Bihar, where the road narrows and the air thickens with the scent of damp earth and something metallic, like old blood. I'd been pushing hard, eyes burning from 18 hours straight, ignoring the ache in my shoulders that begged for a break. That's when I spotted the dim glow of a makeshift dhaba, just a tarp strung over bamboo poles, a single bulb swinging like a pendulum. I pulled over, tires crunching gravel, and killed the engine. The silence hit me first. No crickets, no wind, just the faint tick of my cooling motor. Why did the air feel heavier here, like it was holding its breath? I stepped out, stretching my legs, the cool night air nipping at my skin through my worn kurta. The dhaba owner, a gaunt man with hollow cheeks, nodded from behind his stove, brewing chai that smelled of cardamom and smoke. "Long drive, Bhaiya?" he asked, his voice raspy, eyes not quite meeting mine. I grunted, yes, ordered a glass, and that's when I noticed him, the barber. He sat cross-legged on a charpoy under the bulb, his kit spread out, a straight razor glinting silver, a small mirror propped against a tree, a brass bowl of soapy water. He looked ordinary enough, mid-50s, salt and pepper beard, a faded vest over his shirt. "Tired face, Saab," he said, his tone casual, almost paternal. "A quick shave. It'll wake you up, make the road feel new." I hesitated. Who gets a shave at this hour? But fatigue clawed at me, and the thought of cool lather on my stubbled chin sounded like relief. Besides, truckers like me know these roadside spots. They're lifelines in the void. I sat down, leaning back as he draped a cloth over my chest. His hands were steady, calloused, but cold, unnaturally cold, like they'd been dipped in river water. As he lathered my face, the razor caught the light, and for a split second, it seemed to hum. A low vibration I felt in my bones. What was that faint snip-snip echoing in the distance, like scissors cutting air? He began the shave, the blade whispering against my skin, and we talked idly about the road's dangers, accidents from sleepy drivers. "Many die here," he murmured, his breath sour with betel nut. "Crushed under wheels, forgotten." His words stirred something in me, a memory I'd buried deep. 5 years ago, near this very stretch, I'd nodded off for a second, my truck swerving into a cyclist. A local barber, they said, out late. The guilt had eaten me ever since, nights haunted by dreams of twisted metal and screams. But I shook it off, focusing on the soothing scrape. The dhaba owner brought my chai, steam curling like fingers, and I sipped it, eyes half closed. The barber finished, wiping the razor clean with a cloth that looked stained, almost rusty. "Better now?" he asked, holding up the mirror. I glanced in. My face looked refreshed, but the reflection flickered like a shadow passed behind me. I paid him a crumpled 50, feeling oddly lightheaded, and climbed back into my cab. As I revved the engine, I caught sight of him in the side mirror, standing motionless, razor still in hand. Why hadn't he packed up? The fog swallowed the dhaba as I pulled away, but that snip-snip sound followed, faint at first, like it was clipped to my exhaust. I chalked it up to exhaustion, cranking the radio for company. Static crackled, then a voice, garbled, murmuring about fatigue and revenge. I switched it off, gripping the wheel tighter. The road ahead stretched empty, headlights carving tunnels through the mist. About 10 kilometers on, my eyelids drooped again, the weight of the day pressing down. I slapped my face, remembering the shave's cool relief, but my cheek felt sticky. I touched it, fingers coming away red. Blood? No, just sweat, I told myself. But then, in the rear view, a glint. The razor perched on the dashboard. I hadn't taken it. Heart pounding, I grabbed it, the handle icy, and tossed it out the window. Relief washed over me as it clattered into the dark. I stopped at the next petrol pump, a brightly lit oasis amid the blackness, pumping diesel and splashing water on my face in the grimy bathroom. The attendant, a young kid, chatted about the road's curse. "Ghosts of the weary," he said with a shrug. I laughed it off, feeling safe under the fluorescent hum, but as I paid, he handed me change. A 50 rupee note, crumpled just like the one I'd given the barber. Coincidence, right? Back in the truck, I felt renewed, the incident fading like a bad dream. But as I merged onto the highway, that snip-snip returned, louder, closer, like it was in the cab with me. What if the shave wasn't done? Dawn crept in slowly, painting the horizon pink over the fields near Varanasi, where the Ganges whispered secrets to the Ghats. I'd pushed through the night, the razor incident gnawing at me like an itch I couldn't scratch. Stopping at a proper darbar this time, one bustling with early risers, truckers nursing parathas, the air thick with ghee and chatter. I felt grounded again. "Rough night?" asked a fellow driver, burly with a turban, as we shared a table. I nodded, mentioning the odd barber. His face paled. "The Phantom? Saab, you stopped. They say he's the spirit of a man killed by a dozing trucker. Now he lures the tired, gives them a close shave." He leaned in, voice dropping. "If you bleed after, it means he's marked you." I touched my cheek, dry now, but a faint scar lingered where none had burned. Shaking it off, I hit the road again, the sun climbing, vanishing shadows. But guilt resurfaced, sharper. That accident years back, the barber I'd hit. Had it been here? The memory blurred, but the pain didn't. By afternoon, nearing Allahabad, fatigue hit like a wall. I pulled over under a banyan tree, its roots twisting like veins, and dozed in the cab. Dreams came, cold hands on my throat, a mirror reflecting not my face, but a crushed one, eyes accusing. I woke sweating, the razor back on the dashboard, impossible. How had it returned, blade spotted with fresh lava? Panic rising, I questioned everything. Was I losing it? The road finally breaking me? The snip-snip pulsed in my ears now, rhythmic, insistent, like a heartbeat from the grave. Was this fatigue, or something pulling me under? Evening fell as I approached Kanpur, my hometown stretch, where memories flooded back, childhood rides with my father, a truck or two, before he died in a crash from exhaustion. The guilt doubled. I'd followed his path, but carried his sins, plus my own. The road grew isolated again, fog rolling in unnatural for the season. In the headlights, a figure appeared. The barber standing mid-lane, razor raised. I swerved, tires screeching, heart slamming. He vanished, but the cab filled with the scent of soap and blood. I stopped, breathing ragged, and checked the mirror. My reflection wavered, eyes not quite mine. Safe now, I thought, as I restarted. But then the radio burst on, static hissing, tired, careless, before dying. What if he wasn't done marking me? Night deepened near Agra, the Taj's silhouette a distant promise of beauty amid the dread. I'd radioed ahead to a buddy, arranging to meet at a busy truck stop. Safety in numbers, I figured. He clapped my back upon arrival, handing me a hot meal. "You look like hell, Raj." I spilled the story, the razor now tucked in my glove box like evidence. He listened, then shared his own. Seen him once, years back. Ignored the offer, lived to tell. We laughed uneasily, the crowd's noise a shield, but as I stepped to the bathroom, washing up, the mirror fogged, and in it, a handprint. Not mine. I fled back to the group, heart racing, pretending calm. The false safety shattered when, alone in my cab later, the door creaked open on its own. Why was the air so cold again? The climax hit on the final leg to Delhi, the expressway's smooth lanes mocking my unravelling mind. The snip-snip crescendoed, drowning the engine's roar. In the rear view, he sat, the barber, razor poised at my neck. "Your turn." he whispered, voice like gravel. I screamed, veering off the road, rig skidding into a ditch. Pain exploded as metal twisted, but in the haze I saw him clearly. The face from my accident, the one I'd killed. Guilt incarnate. Rescuers pulled me out, muttering about fatigue-induced hallucination. No passenger, no razor found. But as they towed my wreck, I spotted it glinting in the grass, blade clean but for a drop of my blood. In the hospital, bandaged and broken, I pieced it. The barber wasn't punishing random drivers. He was me, or my guilt looping eternally. That accident, I dozed, killing him. And now every shave, every stop, reframed as penance. But the snip-snip echoes still, faint in the ward's quiet. What if he's waiting for my next drive? If you made it this far, you're braver than most. But some stories don't end when the telling stops. So stay curious, but stay safe, and maybe keep the lights on tonight.